Trumpers. You know what I mean? And you might be able to be honest with yourself. Well, at least you'll think about it, because it's like we're not standing here in front of each other. So, you know what I mean? To where it could turn into an argument, or where you could just make some BS up or whatever, or deny it or whatever. So, like, you'll actually have to go and think about it now, because it'll be lingering in your head. You know what I mean? And always remember, you cannot lie to yourself. You cannot lie to yourself. But here's my question for you Trumpers. So, you guys are all bent out of shape, upset, mad, whatever you want to call it, right? Didn't like it, whatever words you want to put on it and all that stuff or whatever, you know, because we all talk different and sound different. So anyways, whatever words you want to call it, you guys are all upset and mad and January 6th rioting and all that shit, right? And you guys were pissed when Trump was being investigated, when he got impeached, when he got criminally charged, when they were, you know what I'm saying, basically shaking him down for all the bullshit he was doing their jobs. It's cause and effect. You do something wrong, if it's criminal, police are going to step in, look into it, district attorney, just like all that, right? That's just how that shit works. You know what I mean? Like, I had to go through all that. I committed a crime. I got arrested. I had to go to court. I had to go to court. I had to go to court. I got sentenced. I went to prison. I did my time. I got out. And now I'm doing good, right? So, like, that's what I'm saying, though. That's why some of this stuff would be pissing me off when I sit back and see. I'm like, man, all the shit I had to go through, and I had to just sit back and keep my mouth shut. Like, people don't seem to understand, like, when it comes to the court system, the criminal system, and, like, them courthouses and all that shit, and laws and all that stuff, you ain't got no wins. Unless you have not committed that crime, you get yourself a good attorney, a paid attorney, you fight it, and you do all of that, and, you know, hopefully things turn out your way, right? But, like, there's a process with all that stuff. Whether you end up being guilty or innocent or whatever, there's steps and all that. You can't just come in and be like, because a DA charged you with this or because the judge made this ruling on this, you can't just come in and be like, no, they can't do that. No, they shouldn't be. Dude, that's their job, dude. It's called laws. When it comes to that that's a whole different world. You can't just do what you want to do. Everything is a waiting game. Everything is in order. Everything is a process. Everything is super legal. You can't just, like people are all bent out of shape and shit because Trump, they were mad. They didn't want Trump to have a booking photo. To this day, and don't quote me, but I remember back then, when he was going back and forth to I think it was Georgia or the New York court. And yeah, because he was all crying about how shitty the jail was and how it smelled and all. Dude, that's how that shit is. That's how jails are, man. You like it, and like not wanting handcuffs and all that shit. Dude, when you go to jail and you get arrested, you get your picture taken. That's just part of the process, man. Everyone does. You're not special. You don't get to not take a picture because you're the president. You commit a crime or you get booked. Y'all get fingerprints and all that shit. All of it. It's a book. It's called a booking photo. Dummies. So it's just like they think, like these Trumpers think they can sidestep all these. Like, it don't work like that, man. And nobody can tell me. I don't know what I'm talking about. I know I say this a lot, but it's true. I've been through all that shit. I've been the guy that's been sitting there going to intake court, preliminary court, all that shit, pretrial, sentencing, sitting there in front of the judge, all this and all that. I know how that stuff works. I know the process. Going from county jail, MSDF, House of Correction, prison, all that stuff, Dodge. I know all that stuff works. Boot camp, earn release program. I've been to Waupun. I've been to these max joints. I've been to Portage. I've been to RCI. I've been to Fox Lake. I've been to Red Granite. Red Granite, that FYI, Red Granite's a medium max prison here. I don't know if they reclassified it. I doubt it. But if you go and look up Red Granite Institution Prison here, it's technically considered a medium max prison. And they built it, like when they built that place, I think they took it from like, I believe one of the officers there had told us, I don't forget who it was, they had told us, a staff member, said that they constructed it and like the architecture and the design was all based after a California prison. Because they had medium max joints out there and too, like different custody levels, but that's how that was. Because I'm just getting all off on different stuff now, but because when you're at Red Granite, like they walked us everywhere. To rec, that means gym, to the library, all that stuff. You ate chow in your unit, but like they walked you everywhere. But anyways, getting back to my point. My whole point was to ask, so you guys were all upset, right, when they were investigating Trump, right? Doing their jobs, right? That's what they get paid to do. Someone commits a crime. Paperwork gets filed. DA has to look at all the stuff, do what they got to do. You know what I'm saying? The defendant gets a defense attorney. They do what they got to do. You go back and forth to court. You know, it's just the process, right? So Trump supporters and Trump and his people were all upset that he was being looked into. All the stuff he was doing, or you know what I'm saying? People were upset that he was being investigated by authorities and whoever, right? All, you know what I'm saying? The Department of Justice, all these, the feds, all that shit. He was there. All his people were upset when he was being looked into. But now they're okay with him, because now look, all this shit Trump and Elon are doing. They're firing people and looking into these organizations and into these departments and looking at the books and checking this and doing that and just basically shaking people down, right? You Trump supporters you're all good with him doing it to other people that haven't committed crimes. Dudes firing people and just all this shit that are just federal workers. They haven't committed crimes and all that shit, but they're being fired and let go and all that shit. So you guys are okay with him doing all that. Just the act of looking into people and investigating and doing all this. You're okay with him doing it to other people, but you had a problem with it when it was being done to him. So can y'all, like, I'm just trying to have y'all make some sense to me, because it's hypocritical. How isn't that hypocritical? Tell me. You can't tell me because you're not here, but how is that not hypocritical? I'm gonna ask one more time. How is that not hypocritical? You guys are okay with him firing and doing all this digging into this and that and shaking people down and getting rid of this department and firing these people. You're okay with that. You guys are fine with that. I hear you guys saying it. But you weren't okay when it was being done to him. Why is that? Why is that? And none of y'all know Trump personally. You don't know what he does every day. How do you know he didn't commit any of them crimes? How do you know he didn't sexually assault women? How do you know he wasn't stealing money? How do you know that? You don't. You don't. But y'all were still willing to back him and kiss his ass and shit. That's one of the things I can't stand the most, is when you have somebody black or brown, like, arguing with someone else black and brown about Trump. Like I heard, the other day I heard it was on the radio. It was a black lady. She called up and started arguing with the host. You know what I mean? That was like basically, she's going to bitch and complain at the Democrat and stick up for the white racist man. Because at the end of the day, that's what she did. If you're somebody black or brown and you supported Trump, or you get to arguing and debating with somebody else black that's not a Trump supporter, you're basically sticking up for racism. Tell me how you're not. Tell me how you're not. Okay, look, I'm a Democrat, right? So let's say I'm sitting here, right, and you're a black Republican, and me and you get to debating about stuff, right? And then your talking points are you're sticking up for Trump. You're backing everything he says. You're saying how you like this, that he does this, and he's doing that, and you're okay with it, right? So you're sticking up for that racist white man. Because I'm against Trump. I'm against the racism. I'm against all the bullshit he's doing. And you arguing with me about it, that means you're for him. So you're sticking up for him against me, someone that looks like you. What the fuck is that? That's what I was saying. Like, everyone's talking about like why this shit. Like, dude, like, it's really that simple, man. This race was about race. It was. And I don't understand, like, why I just don't. I don't understand why black and brown people, unless you hate who you are, unless you hate being black or brown and you wish you were white. Because that's what I'm beginning to think with some of these people that supported Trump. And then their arguments and their talking points would be based off just dumb stuff and they're just the naivety. You know, you're like, really? That's what you think is going on? Like, you're just dumb. Come on, y'all. Like, come on, man. Like, it's just, yeah. And it gets frustrating and shit. And like I was saying, that's what leads me to just, like, that's the conclusion I come to. I'm like, they either don't care about who they are as a person, or they'd rather be white. Because why would you be sticking up for that? We all know Trump is a racist. We all know that. We all know that. We've all heard. You know what I mean? We've all heard the stuff. People are like, I gotta still look into things. I don't know. I'm picking yet. What do you mean? There should be nothing to figure out. There should be nothing to think about. There should be nothing to consider. What are you considering? Dude is a racist. You're black. You're Latin. He's a racist. Why would you support that? It's really that fucking simple. There's nothing else to talk about. It's that simple. It's that simple. And I thought we all hated racism. I thought white people didn't like racism either, because they sure do get bent out of shape when you call them one, or they think you've called them one. So then who's racist? If anytime you call somebody a white person, they get bent out of shape and, how dare you call me a racist? I'm not racist. I have one black friend. That don't mean shit. Or when they say, I'm not racist, my girlfriend's black. That don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. That just means you're attracted to black women. That don't mean that you're not a racist and that you don't, that means, you know what I'm saying? Come on, man. It'll just be killing me the way people, like, some people's like kindergarten thinking. That's what I call it. It's like kindergarten thinking. You know what I'm saying? Man. But yeah, so back to that before I get going. So for you Trumpers and you MAGAs, you guys were okay, or I'm saying you guys are okay with them doing all this firing and digging into these departments and shaking people down. You're all okay with that. You guys you're good with that, because I hear you saying it. Black and white Trumpers, I hear y'all saying it. But you had a problem with it when it was happening to him and his people. So what's the what? I don't understand. Hit me up if you can make that make some sense to me. All right, y'all. I'm going to get out of here. Peace.
Results made simple.
And that's that. Yeah. Just home from work. About to go get Michelle in about an hour. I'm just watching America's Test Kitchen and shit. And I was just ranting and raving a little bit. You know what I mean? All right, let's see what they're making. Ooh, some pork chops.
What are the 3 most magical words that this girl can hear? Is it, I love you? Well, I do, but it's actually fried pork chop. Absolutely love them. Crispy, crunchy, doesn't matter. I'm going to come running. Now, Elle's here, and she's going to show us a great version from Taiwan called za pai gu. I can't wait to try this.
You know, when I'm traveling, I'm always looking for the local food. I want to eat what the locals are eating. And in Taiwan, it's zai pai gu. It's the it dish.
It's the it dish?
Yes.
Why they gotta have somebody black doing the pork chops? That's racist.
A pork chop, but in a delicious
No, I'm just playing.
sweet and savory marinade. We're going to start with a tablespoon of soy sauce. I also have 1 tablespoon of Taiwanese rice wine. You can use sake or any clear rice wine. 1.5 teaspoons of sugar. 1.5 teaspoons of water. 3/4 teaspoons of Chinese five spice. Very fragrant. I love it. A half teaspoon of salt. And 1/4 teaspoon of white pepper.
All right. There's some potent flavors in there.
Oh, yeah. All right, so I'm just going to give this a whisk. So the use of pork in Taiwanese food cannot be overstated. Very much a primary meat option, and I'm not mad at it.
No.
Honestly. So we're going to start with 2 8-ounce bone-in pork chops.
Okay.
Okay, so what we need to do is we're going to cover this chop with some plastic.
Okay.
And we're going to flatten this chop to about 1/4 inch. Bone is kind of our barrier, so try to avoid it if you can.
Okay.